Everybody, welcome back. Episode 69 of the Legends and Dragons podcast here at the Legends Lair in Hurst, Texas. Phil Book.
Jimmy Klaus.
Hey, man, how's that knee?
Sucks, dude.
Would you like to tell the audience what happened to your knee?
I mean,
massive fight. What happened?
what's funny is that this is my bad knee, and this is the knee that's messed up right now. Both my knees are shot from jiu-jitsu.
Who'd you fight? So break up that.
Nobody. And so we're going to call this one Snap, and we'll call this one Crackle. And, combined with my elbows and my shoulders, we make up the Rice Krispies, dude.
Yeah, bro. All you did was what?
Not last Friday, the Friday before that, because now it's been a week and 4 days. I've popped it 4 times in the last 10 days. And the first time I was at game day with the kids. I'm not rolling. I'm sitting down monitoring dodgeball. And I go to get up and I mean, the moms heard it. They're like, "Oh, are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be all right. I'll be all right." Yeah, I walked it off. I'm like, "Oh my goodness." And then like the second time was getting up from a photo at 6 a.m. We took the photo. I go to get up, it popped again. The third time was scooting into somebody to get closer because I haven't been playing a guard. So just scooting in, it popped again.
Yeah.
And then last night I was on mount and I slide my knee up. I'm going to take their back because that's not going to do anything. Popped this, trying to take the back. So I guess it's just pounce on Phillip time. I'm just going to let people work and just work out of bad positions and stuff, which I don't mind.
We're just getting older, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, man, no other 45-year-olds. Let me take it back. Not a lot of other 45.
I'd say I know quite a few 45-year-olds
not a lot of
in our social circle that
they
work hard, but they probably don't train 2 times a day, 6 days a week.
True that.
So
True that.
There's that.
You got that.
And it's funny because now I see these older grapplers like Tom DeBlass and Mike Bidwell. If you guys don't know these guys' story, go look them up. Tom DeBlass is huge in jiu-jitsu, and then Mike Bidwell, he spent 13 years at brown belt. 13 years at brown belt. You should go look his story up, Jimmy. It's so motivational.
Yeah.
In fact, he's the one that kept me on my journey when I was like so defeated. I was just stuck. He reached out to me on Facebook and messaged me. He was like, "Hey man, stay on the journey." I was stuck at brown for 13 years. Blah blah blah. He was amazing.
13 years.
Just for stuff like he would he was training on and off, injuries. He was out of shape because his professor, they make them be in shape.
Yeah.
Like Chance makes you do a physical test.
Yeah.
Yeah, their instructor at that time, make sure they're in shape. And he, wanted to buckle down. And so, I had kids in between there and all this different stuff. But both those guys' journey was great. But basically, in all that time, I mean, your body's gonna take damage.
In start to finish, how long do you think someone could obtain a black belt in jiu-jitsu? Like nonstop training.
I mean, nowadays man, I tell people this all the time. Nowadays it's easy. So really quick, back to my point. Yeah. What I'm saying is that all these older grapplers are saying now that you should calm down and not train so much, save your body if you want to do this into your, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. But I feel so good training 2 times a day, 6 days a week that I'm not, when I hurt or, I will back off. But until then, I feel great.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, man, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, no. To obtain a black belt.
Thank you, to obtain a black belt. So it's shorter nowadays. It used to be a lot longer. So minimum when I first got in was 10 years. That was minimum. You could not obtain a black belt unless you had been training 10 years. And I mean, I'm talking not 2 days a week. I'm talking about 3 to 5 days a week for 10 years to get a black belt. Now I'm seeing people get it at 7. Some idiots get it 3.5. Oof.
About 3.5.
But it is what it is, man. And it is what I tell people, man. Don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Yeah.
It took me 14 years. And the first 4 years on my journey, remember, I had a full-time job. So I'm maybe training 2 or 3 times a week.
Right.
And when I quit that job and decided to do jiu-jitsu full-time, I'm a 4-stripe blue belt. And from that day to 10 years it took me to get my black belt, I was training 2 days or 2 times a day, 6 days a week. And, but my journey is different. If anybody else got on my journey, they probably quit. And so I tell people, don't worry about the belts. Don't worry about the stripes. Don't compare yourself to anybody else's journey, because that's the number one thing that will rob you, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard because let's say you start, you and I start together, right? And your job takes you away from jiu-jitsu more than my job does, right?
Right.
Let's just say, technically speaking. And so I train jiu-jitsu 2 times a day, 5 days a week, when you can only get there 3 or 4 times during the week.
Yeah.
And so, but we're still training. Our skill is equal. You're beating me. Sometimes I'm beating you. We're both white belts. But, Greg calls me up and he gives me 2 stripes, just for the extra effort for whatever reason, or maybe he sees that much more improvement.
Right.
But now you're sitting on the sideline going, well, man, I started with Phillip, man. We're both equally, I beat him sometimes. How did he get 2 stripes and I didn't? You can't think like that. That stuff has to go out the window.
Right.
And it's hard, man, because, I believe jiu-jitsu is the hardest martial art in the world. And I believe jiu-jitsu is designed to make you quit. Everybody now these days wants the fast, the quick satisfaction. What can I get right now? What's in it for me, right?
Right.
And that's the wrong way to look at it, because if you invest yourself in jiu-jitsu and you just go and you just train, the black belt will come.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come.
I think it was Tom DeBlass that wrote something like an individual obtained their black belt, earned their black belt, but it was only able to go once a week.
Yeah.
And for like 13 years. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's it. Just once a week.
Yeah.
It was dedicated once a week for 13 years and finally got it.
Yeah. And it took me 14 and I trained 6 days a week too. So see, everybody's journey, but who am I to say, well, that guy didn't deserve it because I had to put in double the work.
Right.
That's not it. Everybody's journey is different. You know what I'm saying? But I love the fact to say that, hey, man, I almost did it twice.
True, man.
Yeah,
because you were a brown belt, if you think about it.
For 5 years almost.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you're like an 8th degree.
Well, yes.
Right?
Yeah. I was telling this story the other day. I was a brown belt. I just got my brown belt. And a guy that started 1 year after I did got his black belt. And I congratulated him on Facebook. I was like, hey, man, congratulations. He said, thanks, coach. Because I was his coach when he first started.
Yeah.
And he passed me in rank.
Yeah.
And,
How'd that taste?
It is what it is. I don't care. It is what it is, man. I've been doing this for 19 years.
Yeah.
And if it technically, you're 19 years, you should have a 3rd degree, but I don't care, dude. I have a 1st degree on my black belt. I'm eligible for a 2nd degree next year. I don't care, dude. I think the thing I love is being on the mats and sharing and spreading jiu-jitsu to the world.
Yeah.
I don't care how many degrees. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to get a coral belt before I die, right? 31 years at black belt. At 71 years old, I'd love to get a coral belt. Like, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's not going to ruin my life. Like, my life is dedicated to sharing and teaching jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And to helping people enrich their lives. Because that's what we do. Think about that,
Yeah,
we have a lot of people come to us that are, hurting or broken, or that need that family and that camaraderie that we have. And, man, Jiu-jitsu saved my life. It's, and it's everybody's different. Jiu-jitsu saved a lot of people's life. And there's some people that come in just for the hobbyist of it. They're like, it's just another hobby to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for me, it saved my life. When I first started, I was an alcoholic. I was heavy in the bottle when I first started jiu-jitsu. And, I finally got serious and got sober. And it's my favorite martial art,
Because you lost both your parents, right?
I did.
And when you started?
I lost
blue belt.
So this is crazy. So I lost my father August 1st of 2006.
Okay.
And that's when I owned the Kempo school right over here.
Yeah.
And August 23rd is when I took my first jiu-jitsu class. So 23 days after my dad passing away is when I was talked into going to the class up here. And that night is when I sat in my car and I was just like, I just had so much on my mind and my plate.
Yeah.
So, I signed up because I did not like getting beat, especially by a kid with 3 months of training. I mean, it wrecked me.
Sure.
It wrecked me. Like, I thought, have I wasted 9 years in the martial arts? Is the martial arts I took, are they BS? I just started to question a lot of things. And then, of course, it didn't help that I'm an alcoholic.
Sure.
And so,
you were still mourning.
yes, yeah, absolutely.
So you had a lot on your plate. So yeah, when you say jiu-jitsu saved your life,
Yes, it did.
It
It absolutely did. I got sober because of jiu-jitsu and the help of some friends, you know.
Sure.
I be honest. But jiu-jitsu's kept me something to do. You know, we talk about this all the time. I switched the addiction, right?
Right.
So I put down the alcohol and picked up the jiu-jitsu. And now I'm just incorporating jiu-jitsu in every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
On and off the mats. And I'm so addicted to it, right? Because this is my belief. You know, the addiction's never cured.
Right. Yeah.
It's never cured.
Yeah.
It's just you pass it on to something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, I could be addicted to cheeseburgers or, you know, 80s martial arts movies or, you know, but I choose not to do anything but jujitsu. When I'm at home, I'm watching jujitsu videos. I'm studying jujitsu. I'm watching ADCC tapes. You know?
Right.
And I mean, these are young men that are doing this. I'm 45 years old, fixing to be 46. I'm never going to be able to compete at that level, but it's just, it's great for me to watch and love. So.
Hey,
Chance is in the house.
Hi, boys.
Let's go. Hey, brother.
Hey.
So, has jiu-jitsu helped you?
Well, we're on camera, right?
Yeah, we're on camera. We're live, guys. How has jiu-jitsu helped you or in your life?
Yeah. Well, jiu-jitsu, man, I would say jiu-jitsu has made me stronger without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I would say made me healthier. Valdez, when I first got on the mats, that was obviously, you know, the on-ramp
Right.
of getting healthy. But then I just started. My whole goal wasn't initially black belt, but I have the personality that I'm not going to quit.
Oh yeah.
So
I won't let you.
I know. But so I knew that I would eventually get. How long? I don't know. It took me 7+ years, I think.
Yeah.
And then with jiu-jitsu, I just traded that martial art to jiu-jitsu, which has helped me, you know, stay active. Of course, we talk about the camaraderie all the time, just that the family feel that we have at our school.
Yes.
Which I know a lot of other jiu-jitsu schools have the same thing. To be fair, to have that family feel. So it has helped me with that. But as I get older, I have played a role even over at Excel because I was the only adult in like
Right.
the kids class. I say kids class, but no, I mean, it wasn't the kids class.
Right.
I was the oldest one. So people came to me, you know, brought me their problems and we talked and, you know, that has translated it as well over at Henzo's where a lot of people come to me and I help guide them through some stuff, you know, no matter their rank.
Sure.
They come to me. So
Good.
I think that has helped me by helping them.
Good.
So that's where I
What we have at Hinsos is very special. You know, we had a lot of new people come in, and they're all different ranks. We had a few people come in, a purple belt, brown belt, 2 brown belts, a purple belt, and 2 blue belts come in this week. And they all leave in there saying, "Man, this is what we've been looking for. This is the most amazing academy we've ever stepped foot in." I was like, "This is we run this daily. This is it. This is our lives."
Yeah, we
dude,
breathe
you know?
that. We preach
We
it.
breathe that environment. We do.
It's funny because I was rolling, I think, with a new blue belt, I think at 6 a.m. I forget his name. And I was doing some moves. And of course, I had my forearm. He was like, "Hey, no, you guys do that here. You know, a lot here." I'm like, "Yeah, we do."
Yeah.
I was like,
we get down to business.
yeah, I was like,
Actually, I taught a shoulder crunch sweep this morning with the forearm on the throat to push it into sweep. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm just so used to that. But anyway, man, a rough week, huh?
Very rough.
We get into that.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So Nikki and I were talking off camera, and I mean, I just think that we have lost our ability to show love. As Nikki and I were talking on camera about that, that's what I said. We lost. I think that there are so many people with so many different backgrounds that there's evil in this world, and with social media, the way that it just amplified everything. And what I hate about social media is a lot of my friends will watch a 30-second clip or a 60-second clip and get manipulated without seeing the whole thing. Listen, even memes. You know, a lot of people will gather their information from a meme or from a clip that's spliced together. You know, it's electronic. They get their emotions electronically, and it's being bred that way.
I agree.
And when we when we can't even have a conversation or a disagreement civilly, and it ends up with someone being murdered.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a rough week, and I'm having these conversations too with my kids about it, because Talon, he's 14, he doesn't understand.
Right.
I mean, really, no one understands except that there's evil in this place, and that's been to me the most disheartening thing is to watch people celebrate the loss of a life.
Yeah, that really irks me.
And that right there probably, I mean, it pains me a lot to see people celebrate, but I shouldn't be shocked either. I shouldn't be shocked because we hung the Son of Man on a cross.
That's right. You crucified Jesus Christ.
And to show love. And so I can't expect this world to be any different. And so that's my hot take on it, is that we need to show more love, and you guys got to stop being manipulated by social media and just a few second clip. Like, do your research. Like, if you think someone is full of hate, they're spewing all hatred, I mean, that's fine. But have you listened to anything that Charlie Kirk said?
Right. Yeah. First of all, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. That was sad. In fact, he got shot while we were filming our last episode. While we were filming the episode is when that happened.
No, I know that he was in Utah.
Yeah.
I think we had just finished up.
Okay. Maybe something.
Because it was
1 week ago today.
No, 1 week ago today. Because I was on my way to work and I saw it. I think in the social media realm, like I saw the video I saw the up close one.
Yeah, that was sad to watch.
It was sad to watch because his wife and his kids were there, and just now the people who are filming are, I mean, they're going to have PTSD. But let me talk about too the shooter standing. I mean, the imagine being a dad turning your son in.
Yeah.
But
you just have to.
You have to.
You have to.
But now that whole family is hurt and in pain and broken, and it's just, trying to process it this whole week it's been interesting, because to see the hate it's been crazy, man. And I know that we all went to lunch and we all basically agreed to be better humans, to be better friends, be better teachers, be better husbands, be better.
That's right.
Just be better. Be better, people.
That's right.
That's what it is.
You got to be better. That's right.
But, and the same thing is what I share with, I mean, we share this all the time, right? Iron sharpens iron. You are who you hang out with. If you're alone, and if you're into all these social media stuff or the Discord or these groups that are just feeding you crap, then you're going to spew crap. You need to get out, go outside, get some vitamin D, and talk to real people.
Yeah.
Talk to people and have the disagreements, have the conversation. Like, listen, there are people, like, do Chance and I agree on everything? No. Do Philip and I agree on everything? No. Do Nikki and I agree on everything? No. But the one thing that I do know is that I absolutely love these people, and I will absolutely go to war for them. It doesn't matter if they agree with me or disagree. I don't fear my life when I disagree with them. We can have the conversations.
That's because we're rational human beings.
I know, man. It's just.
And there's a lot of people out there that are not rational human beings. I mean, it's getting crazy, man. It's getting absolutely crazy.
Well, when you're in the military, when I was in the military, and when I was in the Operation Southern Watch, every day before we go to work, command posts would give us the brief of this is what the mission is today.
Right.
This is what we're doing.
Sure.
And so I was in there with pilots. I was in there with controllers. So we would get this briefing as the air traffic controller. I would get to say, we would get the weather briefings. We would just kind of figure what's going on. So as my deployment is ending, I had the opportunity to fly on the AWACS. AWACS is, I always call them the controllers in the sky. They see the target. I, as air traffic controller, keep planes away. Those guys bring planes together so they can engage in aerial combat. But I was in an AWACS. And the thing that, so as we were there, I was in the cockpit with the 1-star and then the pilots, and I was listening in, and some F-16s were getting shot at, and the F-16s had to call the AWACS to get permission to fire upon our enemy.
Wow.
So the general was like, "Hey Jimmy, why don't you go in the back?" Because there was some high level conversations that were about to happen that I wasn't privy to, just being I was a senior airman, maybe, 3 striper. So I go in the back, but I know the conversations they're having. But here's the thing with war is that there are still rules of engagement that we do with war. We had to ask permission to fire upon the enemy. And they got the permission because they were fired upon, so they fired on the enemy. But there were times, and there are times, that they did not get the permission to fire on the enemy until they were fired upon.
Right.
So even though the enemy was there, and we knew that these were the bad guys, we couldn't fire upon them because there were rules of engagement.
That's right.
I'm saddened that there are no rules of engagement in the sense of, if I disagree with someone, then there's a chance that someone might kill me because they don't agree with maybe my politics, my religion, my view. And why is that? Because there's an enemy there, and there's a spiritual battle going on, and the enemy does not care. He's going to fire upon you, and that's what I think.
Let's just be honest. Let's not beat around the bush, man. The guy that did this, the guy that does these cowardly acts. I mean, that's exactly what they are. They're cowards, okay? Because they want to silence people because they're cowards. They're absolute cowards. This guy didn't like what Charlie Kirk had to say about trans people, And oh well, you can disagree, but don't get violent. And I'm going to tell you right now, I love all these idiotic people that are mocking Charlie Kirk and celebrating his death. I love that they're getting fired.
Yeah.
I love that they're getting expelled from college, and they're all whining on like social media, TikTok and stuff. They're crying, "Oh, what am I supposed to do now? I got fired. What happened to freedom of speech?" You have freedom of speech. Freedom of speech protects you from the government. Doesn't protect you from your job. Yeah, you have freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of consequences, you moron.
You're right. And that's the thing, is the consequences is what people are getting dinged for, if you will.
Yeah.
But
they should. There's doctors and lawyers and pediatricians celebrating this man's death. I mean, you are sick and vile if you celebrate somebody's death. Listen, I've heard it all. Charlie Kirk was racist. No, he's not. Prove it to me. Find out of the millions of videos that are online of him talking at campuses, show me one that he was racist. One. They say he was a bigot and a fascist. Show me one instance, just one. That's all you got to do is show one. He gave everybody a platform to talk. He brought everybody up, whether they agreed or disagreed with him. He brought them up. He prayed for them. He wanted them to have good in their lives. Right. And you shot him because you didn't like his beliefs. Yeah. It's so ridiculous, man.
Well,
but look at what it sparked.
100%.
Millions of people around the world rose up and started marching.
I didn't know we talked about this, and I don't know if it was you may have been the one to say this at lunch, or maybe it was Chance. I don't know. But it was brought up that if Charlie Kirk knew the spark that it would light up.
Yeah.
He would do this.
He would have dug the center. Absolutely.
He would do it again. I mean, of course, it's still a tragedy, but Graves in the Gardens. It's one of my favorite songs, man. Graves in the Gardens by I think it's Elevation Worship with Brandon Lake. I think that's who sings it. But that's what we're seeing now is, out of the ashes rises the phoenix.
That's right.
And so we are seeing more people, come to Christ. We are seeing people, who haven't gone to church, go to church.
That's right.
Which I could really get into the topic of church. I know that, which I probably will. But this podcast, I will probably give you guys my hot take, and it'll probably piss you guys off, or some of you guys off, but it's okay. But my thing is, guys, I encourage you guys to unplug after this podcast. Unplug for a bit after you listen to this. Go read a book. Get outside. Go exercise. Meet up with your friends for coffee. Go to church. There are things that you can do to manage your time, and just recognize that there are people out in the world that are good people that believe differently than you.
That's right.
And if you just show love, that's all, man. Just show love. I can't express it enough. Just show love. But anyway, here's my hot take on church. You want to take it? You want to hear it?
Yeah.
So here's my take on church, guys, which I absolutely believe people should go to church. You guys should love church. However,
here we go.
There are churches out there, for instance, the Joel Osteens of the world.
Oh, yeah.
The Kenneth Copelands of the world.
Oh, Kenneth Copeland.
There are mega churches out there that will preach, give me your tithe.
Yes.
For those that don't know what a tithe is, listen, tithe means tenth.
That's right.
So they want 10th of your income.
Yep.
Now, if you guys give to the church, that's fine. I do, right? But what I don't like is how people will apply the tithe, the Old Testament tithe. So I encourage you, and I have no problem debating this fact. I encourage you to go look what the tithing in the Levitical, in the Torah, which are the first 5 books of the Bible. Go read what the tithe was and the purpose of the tithe. And the tithe for the priests, and you bring a fattened calf, and you get all of this. That man today has built a church. That man today has taken your money, and man today, like the Kenneth Copelands of the world, with multiple airplanes, a runway on his property, all of this stuff, from what?
Yeah.
I'm not.
He's closer to God than you and I are, man.
That's what
we got to pay that man so we can get close to God.
That's what he'll say. That's what he'll say. Now, why do I say what I say? Because if you look in the New Testament, Jesus never talked about tithe. Not once. He talked about taxes.
Yep.
He talked about give what is Caesar what is Caesar's, but he didn't say anything about tithing.
That's right.
What is the church? It's you. It's me.
That's right.
It's Phil. It's Tex. We're the church. We are the temple. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with church buildings or coffee or the praise and worship or the music or the preaching. But what I am saying is, if there is nothing that the pastor, you need to open up your Bible. You need to have that relationship with God, and not having the pastor going to church going, oh, well, I did my daily or my weekly service. I'm good now.
Right.
No, it is a relationship,
right.
Guys. Open it up. Take a look at it. Challenge me on it. I'm fine with it. My belief is there in the New Testament, guys. Go read the red letters.
I can't stand these mega churches, and not even mega churches, just other churches in general, man. Because some of them, you're right, they're only there for money.
Hey, Chance, what do you think? Hey, listen. Here's the thing. I have a plan. It's not running the mafia, because you would probably be the godfather if we ran the
But plenty better
I think that we should form a church
to make money.
Okay.
There's so many, not many legal loopholes. What do you think?
Just for the small price of
I
our
don't want any
soul.
part of this.
Just for the small bargain basement.
what do you think?
Giving up our soul.
No.
Then we could have all the money in the world. But if you look at it that way, we were to give up our soul and not have any ethics or honor. There's lots of ways we can make money.
That's very true.
What's legal? Sure, we make it. What do you make it legal? again, I'm not saying all churches
You
are
are a fountainhead.
I'm not saying that.
So,
I'm just saying you guys have to. Here's my take: when you're looking for a church, find a Bible teaching church.
Yeah.
You got to find a Bible.
I can't stand mega churches. I've been to plenty. They suck. Joel Osteen, you're trash. Sorry if you go to his church. I don't care if I offended you or not. Your pastor's trash. The guy is a piece of crap. I watched him when the Houston floods happened. I watched him lock
the
people
church
out and say, "Oh, hey, there's water in here. You can't come in." When people are filming, I mean, literally, you could have housed thousands of people in there. So you're trash. Kenneth Copeland, you're trash as well. And then there was that pastor. I forgot. I should have looked it up before I came. I didn't know we were going to get into this. I told you about it.
Yeah.
There's this pastor in this other church. I forgot it was in North Carolina or something. And he was asking the congregation to give their offerings that Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, I need every member. I think there was like 20,000 in attendance. He's like, I need everybody here to give $5. And nobody, not everybody gave it. He's like, no, hold on. And he like stops the whole preaching. And he tells his ushers, he goes, go lock them doors. And they lock the doors. He goes, nobody's leaving until they donate. Bro, if you lock the doors again and help me against my will and ask me for money to church, guess what, preacher? I'm going to knock your teeth through your throat and walk right out the door, you moron. Idiots. So, yeah, this is what happened with me. I might have shared this on a podcast. Maybe I did. So, my mom, I grew up in the Episcopal Church, just like Catholics, but just not as strict. But so grew up in the Episcopal Church. My dad passed away. We had his funeral at the church, and it was in my mom's will that when she passed away to have her funeral at our church, at our family church that I've been a part of since I was a baby. Right. My mom passes away, my mom is ill in the hospital. She has a brain tumor. They can't operate on it because it's on her brain stem. Right. They just basically tell me, you have 3 months to get your affairs in order. She's going to die.
Yeah.
So I'm at the hospital with her every day, and the pastor of that church, called St. Dunstan's Episcopal Church at Houston, Texas. And that moron called my mom's hospital ring. And I pick up the phone, and he's like, oh, hey, who is this? I said, this is Philip, Phyllis's son. I go, oh, yeah, I just wanted you to know we've been praying real hard for your mom. How's she doing right now? Like, she's not doing good, or just, taking it day by day. It's got a tumor on her brain stem. Yeah, we heard that. I'm real sorry to bother you, but we was just wanting to know if your mom was going to match her donation last year. And bro, my mom donated like $20,000 to the church the year before in one lump sum. I slammed that phone because it was still one of the corded phones in the hospital, right? This is 2009.
Yeah.
I slammed that phone down so hard, dude, I broke it. I was so pissed off that dude had the nerve to call and ask for money when my mom is dying, dude. I was so pissed off, Jimmy, so pissed off. So me and this girl I was dating at the time, we went because it was in my mom's will to have the funeral there. So my mom it was like a few weeks later, a month later, so my mom passed away.
Right.
And so we go up to the church, and I'm sitting down with my old youth minister, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, look, my mom said she wanted to have the funeral here, and I'm good with that, but I'd like you to lead it. And he was like, well, I don't know if I can do that. I was like, no, there's no if you can. You are going to do it. My mom loved you. I went to, I don't know if you know what confirmation is in church. It's like when you're coming to adult. He was my confirmation mentor. Like, you're doing this service, dude. And right then the pastor who asked for the money comes in the office and sits down, and he goes, I'm very sorry to hear about your mom, Philip. You mind if I pray for you? I was like, no, don't pray for me, dude. I go, here's the deal. We're going to do the funeral here just because my mom wanted it, but you're going to be nowhere on the premises. You're not even going to step foot inside the hall. Otherwise, I'm going to take it somewhere else. It's your choice.
Yeah.
And so I made the guy. He did not attend. He did not come to my mom. He was the head pastor, and he was not allowed to step foot inside the congregation for my mom's funeral because I was pissed, dude. I wanted to knock his teeth through his throat, bro. Yeah. I was so upset.
Well, and that's not obviously the time and place.
Sure.
Any of that, man. It's just, and see, that is what that is what bothers me to no end. God said, the word says that you can't serve both God and money.
Right.
I think people also get confused with the fact that people who make money, they think people who make money is evil. They think they're evil.
Right.
Which it never says that at all. At all. Now it says the love of money.
Yes.
If you're chasing
Yes.
money, that's the issue, because again, it's a heart issue. You're circling all back to the heart issue. And that, man, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
That's all good, man.
Well, because the thing is, man, there are, and the reason why, it burns me up with these mega churches and stuff is that they're prying on individuals who they think that in their heart of hearts, they think that they're doing good. They think they're giving money to a church
Yes.
when with the church doing things that they should be doing.
Yes.
With the expectations and to help the poor, to help the needy, to help the widows, to help those that we are called to help. But it's not. The people who are lining their pockets, that's why you as a church member, if you give your church, you have every single right to ask where your money is going.
Absolutely.
Ask if your pastor is getting a stipend or something for a housing stipend or whatever. I'm not saying that's bad, but I've seen too much when people start chasing the dollar and they start getting rich to where it starts manipulating. And I pray that I'm not like that, because I have such a heart to help people.
Yes.
That, these people who start, the Joel Osteens of the world, the Kenneth Copelands who, do you need two jets, dude? You need two
Right.
streams?
There are thousands of stories of people who, for years, decades, 2 decades, paid in and donated to the church, and then they fell on hard times like during COVID or lost their job, and they reach out to the church, and then there's nothing available for them.
Right, which is...
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then that turns them away from God. And that's not the right thing,
like Church of the Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
Like how much money they have.
Yeah.
And I believe, and you guys might have to fact check me on this, because let's say during the COVID or during a pandemic time or whatever, like they will ask if you have given, or have you matched or what. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the rules of that religious empire, if you will. So I just think again that a lot of people who claim to be Christian don't understand the biblical Jesus.
No.
They don't understand that
Because
Jesus came to love. Jesus came to be the lowest. I say the lowest. Let me take it back. He came to earth to be a servant.
Servant, that's right. He washed the whore's feet and the robber's feet, and he took care of the murderers, and that's what he did.
Right.
He didn't judge.
Right.
We should all be more like that.
Like this kid that shot Charlie Kirk. I pray that he finds God.
Yeah.
I pray that he has really. Why? Because that's exactly what Charlie Kirk would want, right?
I pray that he finds God.
Yeah.
And I pray that it happens right before that firing squad hits his ass.
I guess. Well,
That's what it is, bro. I'm
But
sorry.
then, because of that, doesn't mean that you don't escape the consequences.
That's very true.
You don't escape the consequences.
Very true.
There are consequences to our actions. And that, if you are a parent, you know exactly what I mean. If you teach kids on the mats, you know exactly what I mean. If you are a teacher, you know exactly what I mean. Is that there's still a consequence.
Yeah.
I hate little Billy. Yes, you hit little Bobby in the face and you guys hugged and made up, but guess what? There's still a consequence. Yeah. You're suspended.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There has to be.
Yeah.
There has to be.
There's a difference between grace and mercy.
Yes.
By the way, too. And that's
Otherwise, everything goes to crap. In fact, let's get on that other story. We talked about it a little last week. That girl that got murdered.
the Ukrainian refugee.
That dude was let out 8 separate times from prison, 8 separate times from jail, just to be let back on the street to murder again. I think the judge should be held accountable to let him out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I think there needs
to be consequences for this stuff, dude. It's crazy.
There need to be consequences for our judicial system, for leaders like that who are trying to line their own pockets for whatever reason there is. If you're going to make those decisions, it's your decision. cause that reaction
Yep.
and cause that action to happen. And
That's right.
Listen, I love America. I love our country. I have been to many other countries, and I love this country.
Greatest country on earth.
We still have our faults. We
For sure.
still do better.
For sure.
The thing is, and so let's talk about this. Talk about being better, right? When I get on the mats in jiu-jitsu, or when I get on the mats to spar, right? I'm not judging myself against people that are on the mats. I'm not. If I wanted to be the best, I want to be as good as Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
You know, you got to chase the goats in that. Chuck Norris, and even Chuck Norris, as great as he was in jiu-jitsu, he got smoked and he wanted to learn.
Got his
jiu-jitsu.
butt kicked. That's right.
He started to learn jiu-jitsu.
That's right.
But you have to put your mind to the individuals that you want to be as great. I tell Talon, my son, who wants to be, he wants to play basketball in college, that you can't compare yourself to the kids on the court.
That's right.
You can't. You got to compare yourself. You want to be like Kobe. You want to be like Michael Jordan.
Yep.
That's who you want to chase, and you want to be better than. Right there. Like for me, being a follower of Christ, and you guys could go back and listen to how jacked up I was in my testimony before. The person that I want to be like is Jesus Christ. I'll never be like Jesus Christ. But it doesn't mean that every day I wake up and I can't be better than I was the day before.
Very true.
Because I'm chasing to be like Jesus. And again, I'm going to fall short. Grace and mercy. Listen, I deserve hell. I'm just going to I deserve hell. But because of the love and the grace and the mercy that that God has shown us, I don't. Because I put my faith in Jesus. That's what it is, man. And so I chase Jesus. Like jiu-jitsu. Who do you look at? Like, obviously we look up to Greg because they're too.
Greg,
but,
yeah.
But who?
Hodger Gracie.
Do you chase him every time you're on the mats? Every time you're on the mats?
I try, yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's never going to happen. I'm always going to fall short, but yes.
But you're trying, right?
Yes.
Like obviously iron sharpens iron. We talk about that. And yeah, I mean, all my sparring partners, I love Rob to death and we sharpen each other on the thing. But I don't want to be better than Rob.
Right.
I want to be better than Grace.
That's right. That's right.
I want to be better than those guys.
That's right.
And so that's the mindset that you have to have. Too many people are stagnant because you guys just want to compare yourself to your coworkers.
Yep.
Or you want to compare yourself to them. Stop comparing yourself to them. Get on the mats and be better than them.
Right.
Dude, I want to be the best at what I'm doing. And guess what, though? I'm not walking around arrogant like, I'm better than you. No. But if I keep chasing that,
that's right.
then it's my journey. I will get better.
That's right.
That's it, man.
That's right, brother.
That's about as simple as it possibly can.
And what I love now is especially coming into, where we're at now and the way the country's going with health, man, they're saying now by the year 2030, if you have a fit body, you're going to be in the top 5% of healthy people in the world, dude. Top 5%. You're having a healthy body in 2030 is going to carry more weight than owning a Bugatti or $1 million home. Think about that, dude.
Isn't that wild? Is that crazy to think about?
It's getting out.
When you were younger, and you were in the corporate world, I'm sure that you were thinking stuff. I'm sure because we talked about it. I'm sure you were thinking RV.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were thinking boat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you were thinking.
Oh yeah. Rolex.
Car.
Absolutely.
But that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 20 years ago.
It was.
Think about that mind, that shift in your mindset.
Bro, it's
now
so
to where you
crazy.
are now. Because right now, you're not, what are you chasing now?
I'm chasing to get better at jiu-jitsu, to better my life, to have a better relationship with God and my wife. And that's it. And this was crazy. Before I wanted the boat and the Rolex and the trucks and all that stuff. And now, as long as I'm making money to take care of bills and I can do jiu-jitsu all the time, I don't care.
Dude. Yeah,
I don't care. I'm happy without the money, dude. I've made the $80,000 salaries a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've made the $12,000 salaries a year teaching jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I've been on both spectrums.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I was happier making $12,000 a year, $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
At 40 years old, think about that, guys.
Yeah.
Making $1,000 a month. That was my income.
Yeah.
I was happier than I was when I was making $80,000 a
Think
year.
about the number of kids, and I know I keep coming back to it, man, because I think you're a heck of a
Thank you, brother.
instructor.
Thank you.
But how many kids have you impacted? And it doesn't matter.
Thousands.
It doesn't matter if they're on the mats for a week,
Thousands.
a month,
Thousands.
a year.
Because I've been teaching kids for 15 years.
Every time you post on your social of a kid drawing a picture
Yeah.
or making you a call,
A note, yeah.
or a note, man, that right there, I'm like,
That means more to me than any amount of money. That's why I do it, man. Just to change these kids' lives, to help them out, you know? Because just like you and I talked about, some of these kids, man, they don't receive love. They come from broken homes, you know? And so they need a positive male influence in their life, you know?
You know what would make us rich? And maybe it's a controversial, well, I'm going to tell you that.
This might be a little controversial, dude, but you could.
It's living in a house with both parents.
Yeah. Bro.
I'm just saying, how many kids have I come across in my life
Yeah.
and listen, I'm not trying to dog on anyone.
For sure,
I was
for
raised
sure.
by a single parent at all.
For sure.
But there is something to be said with having both mom and dad in the house
That's right.
to discipline and whatever. And now I will step back and say this. I know many a single mom who has done a great job by getting their kids into an environment
Absolutely.
with positive male influences.
Absolutely.
And I think that is, listen, if something happened between mom and dad, listen, things happen. I'm not here to judge at all. I'm not the judge. You guys don't want me to judge. But to surround yourself with just positive people
I agree.
who will pour into your kids as well, man, there's something to be said about that. A kid who is involved in martial arts or a sports program or surrounded in like an ROTC program or any of that, they usually not the ones getting in trouble.
That's right.
They're usually not the ones.
I can't tell you how many times a parent goes, I use your name to discipline my kids. I'm like, good. They're like, their kids are acting up. They're like, you want me to call Professor Phillip? They're like, they'll straighten up immediately. Be like, I'll dial them right now. And they just stop doing it, right? It's like a Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning. They're telling these kids to stop. They'll call me. But it's great. I want them to do that. I want them as that, or to me, to be that beacon for them to straighten up. I think it's great, man.
I think, listen, man, I need positive male role models in my life. I mean, and I know that, like Chance, in fact, we've talked about this on many podcasts about Chance and the guys that he looks up to and he mentored. Phil, we talk about guys that we look up to. And,
right.
I mean, we have a break, Philip and I and Chance, listen, we sharpen each other, right? I get sad when I see a kid that's just all on their phone or their tablet or at home alone, get sucked into the social media space. And I wish I could tell you guys that I'm a perfect example, but these are conversations that I'm having in my own home with my kids. Let's get off the social media and go outside, go make friends. Like, those aren't real friends. Like, I have thousands of followers and friends on social media. You guys, I love you guys, but you're not in my circle. You're not my Phillips or Chances or Greg's or you guys, or my friends, my best friends. You guys, and I've talked about the tier system before. Your friendships are like a tiered wedding cake.
That's right.
Yeah, you have hundreds of friends or people that but as that tier cake, your circle gets shorter and shorter until you get to that top, which if you're married,
it should be your wife, absolutely.
That is my wife.
You want to know what's crazy? You've touched on two things today.
What's that?
Social media and the church. And I just watched another documentary covering both. Oh, this is great. Oh, man.
Tell me
this guy has to. I've given him like 20 documentaries and he hadn't watched one of them, man. I'm on a documentary kick.
Which one?
This is called, this one's great. This is called, I hope I get this right. It's called the 7M cult.
Yeah, just 79.
I think that's what it's called. So it's on Netflix.
By the way, guys, why do I need to watch? Like, I'm getting all of it.
Yeah.
Right.
So these two girls, they were twins, and they started when they were very, very young dancing, right? Like when they were 3, they started dancing, and they loved dance. So that was their passion. So, 7, 8, they're dancing together. They're twins, even in high school, they get what's called this dance called crumping. It's like this hip hop. So they get into that. And then, the sister's like, well, hey, if you want to get, they lived in like, I don't know, Wisconsin or something. They're like, hey, if you want to get good, you got to go out to LA because that's where the best dancing is. So they both fly, the one sister graduates high school. She flies out to LA. She starts getting gigs and stuff. So the other sister follows. And so they're out there doing their thing, and they meet this one guy who's like a videographer and an editor. And so he invites them over to their house, and while he's there, his dad's a pastor. And so his dad starts talking to these young girls and stuff. Hey, do you know about Jesus Christ and the Lord? And he lures them in. And he basically, man, it's a cult. So he starts, so not only does he make them a part of his church, he says, well, I'm not only am I going to be your pastor, I'm going to be the manager of you, all the dancers. So he gets all the best dancers that were on like, so you think you can dance? And he brought them in. He's like, you're going to be a part of this marketing group, and so he starts paying them. They think they're making good money, but he's raking in millions while they're getting paid pennies on the dollar, right? And he's managing these people. And then, it's a cult. So he tells these dancers, if you want to survive hell and you don't want to go to hell and you don't want your family to go to hell, you must die for them tonight. And what I mean by that is like, physically speaking, you must cut off your family. You can never talk to them again. And so these people did it, and they cut off. And so the sister's like, I can't, my sister's not calling me. The mom and dad, they're like, we talk to her 4 or 5 times a day. Now nothing. And, and this went on for years, and they're trying to meet her at shows, and she's running off. She doesn't want, they're dead to her. And the whole time this dude's doing that, he's sleeping with these girls, and it's so crazy, and it's this big cult, bro, and it's ridiculous. So this dude ran a church, he's sleeping with them as they're members of a cult, and he's managing their dance and stealing all their money. This is a documentary, bro. I just watched it before I came here today. I just watched it before I came here today. Oh my God. That's another one. Jimmy still needs to watch Poop Cruise. Yeah, man. Look, man. Poop Cruise. Hey, Chance. Yeah. Have you watched the Charlie Sheen documentary?
Yes.
Oh, that is epic. That is epic.
You can thank Nikki for me knowing everything about
that. Is an epic documentary.
Facts.
She's been about constantly Charlie Sheen facts.
Chance.
That's amazing.
Guess what Charlie Sheen was doing when he took his first hit of crack?
Yeah, that story blew me away. I looked at my wife because she's on vacation. She goes, well, if you're going to try crack, that's the way you got to try it. I was like, well, thanks for letting me know, wife. Thank you, wife.
Oh my, I don't want to ruin it, but oh my goodness. Have you watched it though?
Oh, it's great. Oh my God.
You actually watch it?
He's on self-destruct. He's on self-destruct mode. Because I wondered what happened with 2.5 Men, because we never got the real story.
Yeah.
And he just thought he was bigger than shit.
It all makes so much
Told
sense
Chuck
now.
Lorre
After
basically
that
to F
documentary,
off.
I'm like, oh, I totally understand all the Charlie.
So
Sheen
awesome.
now.
I really want him to stay clean.
Yes, I do too. Hey, 8 years sober. Hey, congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
He's got 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
So I hope so. Because as Charlie Murphy says, cocaine is a hell of a
It's
drug.
a hell of a
Yeah. That's what I hear.
Guys, I have nothing else to say. Go watch these
Documentaries. I got a whole list for you guys. I go down rabbit holes every week.
And listen, man, this week I challenge you guys to show love.
Yes, please.
Go show love.
Please show love.
Anyways, guys, until next time, go like, subscribe. We'll see you guys next week.
Awesome.